Hey guys, Coach Josh here with AYSDA, American Youth Sports Development Association. Right now I'm talking about punctuality, okay? Calling this Punctuality Part 1, and this is on behalf of you as being a volunteer coach in your specific sport. So guys, you signed up for this role, you volunteered for this role, so embrace it fully if you can, okay? So one of the big things to make sure you do is to be punctual to practice, okay? I've seen many practices where folks are looking at their watches, players are just going crazy, and the coach is nowhere to be seen till 5-10 minutes after practice time has started, okay? Practice time is valuable, guys. You only have a couple hours typically a week to be with your players, and you want to make sure you can maximize that time. So at minimum, let's talk 15 to 20 minutes arrival time previous to the practice start time. Okay, you can even come earlier depending on the sport. Okay, football, for example, is a tough sport sometimes to set up a practice. You've got drills you've got to set up, a lot of cones you've got to set up, you've got to pull blocking sleds and blocking dummies out of their locations, you've got to open up facility. There's all kinds of things that are involved with getting practice ready in football. But that's the same case for all sports, guys. There's a lot of different things you need to focus on, lot of different things to get ready, but you can also make sure that you spend that quality time before practice starts with some of your players too. If you got extra things you want to work on, I always do pre-practice drills with folks. I say, hey, look, I'm going to arrive 15 to 20 minutes early. If you want little Johnny to come and work on his throwing or his catching or sprints or whatever the case may be, stretching, guys, there's all kinds of things you can do pre-practice, and it kind of keeps the horseplay to a minimum as well. Last thing you want to do is get anybody hurt previous to practice because they're just running around going crazy. So if you're there 15, 20, even 30 minutes before practice, you'll be able to kind of see what's going on, and you'll be able to coordinate your pre-practice efforts to prevent injuries and things like that. But again, guys, you signed up for this role. This is something, again, you should embrace, but be punctual. It also speaks a message to your players and your parents that, hey, you really value the time that you've got and that you're spending with your players, no matter the sport. And so hopefully that'll transfer to them, and that'll make them want to be arriving on time, be punctual as well. Last thing you want to do is have players showing up 10 minutes late to practice, because that limits the time that they have with you and as a group to mesh with their teammates. And also, they show up 10 minutes late, you're in the middle of an activity, all of a sudden you've got to re-explain what you're doing and re-explain the drill. Well, guess what? Those players that were there on time, they already know what they're supposed to be doing, so you took time away from them to give it to somebody that arrived late. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. Things happen. Traffic jams, car accidents. There's all kinds of things that may come into play there, especially since the majority of your players are not driving themselves to practices or games, okay? So be punctual to practices, be punctual to games. Make sure you were there well in advance so that you're not scrambling to make things happen, because preparation is very critical in any youth sport, and we want to make sure that you're ready to be the coach that I know you can be. All right, thanks, guys. We'll go punctuality part 2, and we'll talk about player punctuality next time. Thanks.